What's up, y'all? It's your girl Veronica, and we are back with another video. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but if you've been around me or around this channel for a little while, then you know that I'm gonna say it, all right? The fact of the matter is this. Some of y'all claim to be project managers, and you are not. You are not project managers. It's not your fault, all right? I want to start there. Sometimes organizations do this thing where they give you a little project management title just to make you happy, but you really haven't project managed. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how you can actually tell whether or not you've been project managing or you've just been played by your organization. Here we go. All right, guys. So you know how it is. We got a level set. I'm going to give you all the games so that you can run the play. But it's really important that we take a moment in this safe space to be honest with one another. Okay? There is a virus running rampant out there called give them the title and don't give them the money. All right. I'm sure I'm not the only person who has realized this, but organizations, because they don't want to actually cough up the money to pay you what you're worth, will give you a fancy title. And for some of us, that actually ends up being the title of project manager. But then you get this rude awakening when you try to switch roles into another job, right? Or you're building out your resume, you're describing your experience, and then you realize, wait a second, I didn't actually manage any projects. They just called me that so that they could pay me less. So it's important that we kind of clear up what a project manager actually does and how to tell whether or not you are, in fact, a PM. So let's start with this, okay? The most common thing that I see is people being called project managers that are really administrative assistants. Now, look, don't come for me, okay? I'm not trying to have any smoke with the International Guild of Administrative Assistants. All right. I don't want any problems here. But what I am saying is that a lot of the time, admins or executive admins are referred to as project managers in their official title, but they actually do more operations management than project management. Okay. So I want to make sure that we're clear on the distinction between the two. If you are in an administrative role and you're doing daily operations, so for instance, let's say that you are the executive assistant to the VP of an organization, okay? If every single day your focus is streamlining that VP's calendar, right? Vetting out who they're going to be meeting with, answering their phone calls, organizing their files, booking their travel, ordering lunches, building out agendas for meetings. I'm sorry, but you're not a project manager, okay? And the only reason that I say that is because what you're doing is operational and it's not actually a project. Though that is the truth, okay? That's not to discount the work that you're doing. I know some absolutely amazing executive admins, and I know plenty of executive admins that make well over six figures. So don't get it twisted, okay? That's a good job and a good role to have, especially when you're working with people that you enjoy. But it's not a project management role because there is no project to be had, okay? You do operational work. Now, that's not to say that if you don't have the title of a project manager that you can't transition to an actual project management role. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is if you're in that administrative kind of operational role and you have a project manager title, don't be surprised if you transition into a project manager role at another company or another job and it's nothing like what you are used to, okay? Because if you're doing something administrative, it's not actual project management, and you probably don't speak the language and you're not really clear on the different frameworks and methodologies that a project manager follows, okay? So if you're looking at what you're doing right now and it's really operational or it's really administrative, then you're likely not actually doing project management. Now, on the other hand, you have individuals who have different titles, such as an operations manager or such as a customer success manager. And what they're doing is actually project management. The way that you would know is, do you have actual projects assigned to you to lead? And this can manifest in several different forms, meaning, are you in charge of process optimization, right? Does your sponsor or your boss or your supervisor send you in and say, hey, we're going to do process updates. I want you to look at this process. I want you to gather the different people who are involved in it. I want you to review how it can be optimized, then implement that optimization, and then track the KPIs until we hit success. That's a project manager, because you have a designated start date, you have an end date, and you have a clear scope of work. You're managing a project, okay? The same thing goes for all my software implementation specialists out there. You might not have the title of a project manager, but you lead an initiative to implement your company's software into your customers or your clients' systems or their work environments, right? You're overseeing that work with a team. You're reporting out to your sponsors. You're giving updates to your stakeholders. You are tracking all of this information to make sure that the initiative is successful, and when it's done, you close it out. That is, in fact, project management, okay? Those things do count. You are managing projects. And you can find yourself managing all types of projects in different sectors. You can be a project manager in finance. You can be one in marketing. If you're the one who's actually leading these different marketing campaigns, you have a team of individuals that you work with, you have your clients, you have your sponsors, you're trying to track what your return on ad spend is and what your reach is and the engagement from your demographic, and you're trying to hit a certain goal. That's a project. You are project managing. You are actually a project manager in marketing, okay? So you have to ask yourself, am I actually doing the work, or do I just have the title, okay? And the reason why this is so important is because if you're thinking about possibly going for the PMP at some point in time, just having the title isn't going to be enough. You have to show that you meet the qualifications of actually running projects. And they're not going to ask you for a copy of your resume, because they're not looking for project manager, project manager, project manager. Instead, they're going to ask you to describe the projects that you have worked on. And if you come back and say, well, I work on people's calendars and streamlining them, and then I order lunches, and then I build out agendas, or I maintain our operations department, and if something goes wrong, then we fix it, but our goal is maintenance. Those aren't projects, and you're going to get a really rude awakening when PMI comes through and they say, sorry, this doesn't actually count. So it's important that you're clear on what actually constitutes a project and what doesn't. What means you're a project manager and what doesn't, okay? Now, if you find that you're actually in an administrative role, then it may be beneficial for you to ask whoever you work under, hey, do you mind if I take on a project? This could be really beneficial. And a lot of the time, you're not going to have your supervisor or your boss, right, come to you and say, no, you can't take on extra work. If you're trying to get actual project management exposure to match that title that you have, then ask them, can I take on a project? Can I lead an initiative? Because I'm looking to sharpen my actual project management skills. It's a real skill set. It's not just a title that somebody gives you, okay? So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope it kind of broke down, am I a real project manager? Am I not? Do I just have the title, or did my company not give me the title, but they've been having me manage projects? Because that's a really common thing, right? I hope it helped you guys identify that information. If you have any questions about whether or not you've been actually doing project management oriented work without the title, drop it in the comments. Hit me up for a consultation. I'd love to more about your learn. I'd love learn. I would love to learn more about your background and experience and to help you understand whether or not you have been bamboozled by your organization or you are, in fact, a project manager, whether it's by title or undercover. Okay? Please share this video with other people if you think that they'll find it beneficial. Drop us a like, okay? Please subscribe to our channel, help support us, help us get to 2K subs. And in the meantime, in between time, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.